Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the seventh episode of Small Talk. And today's episode has been kind of inspired by a recent story. Do you want to share it? Or should I start? Should I start with it?
You can start with it.
So you wrote an article on the Sunday Times Style magazine, explaining or giving people advice on your hair kind of routine, what you do to keep your hair, the way you want it, right?
Correct.
And so in that article you don't explain, but you obviously say, and there's a picture of you wearing a headscarf,
Yes.
and not that it caused massive controversy or anything like that, but there were some comments from readers of Times, kind of asking you questions about why you wear it. Although that the article was nothing to do with why you wear a headscarf. It was just explaining that this is your routine that you do to take care of your hair.
Yes.
But it became more in the comment sections. It became more about you wearing a headscarf rather than your advice on what you do to take care of your hair.
Yeah. And to go deeper into this, now the piece itself is literally just like a beauty piece about my hair care routine, essentially. And I talk a little bit about, my experience with my hair growing up, like my mum taking care of it for me and looking after it. Even though I wear the headscarf and people can't see my hair, we still love to take care of our hair. And I think it's really important part of our routine. And so that's why I wrote the piece, because I thought it was quite interesting that people haven't heard that perspective of just, hair maintenance for Muslim women who cover their hair. And so in the piece as well, I actually talk about ladies' own events and kind of go into how we, do dress up, we do, style our hair and things like that, because obviously those are the only occasions where we can share our hair in a different way than we would otherwise. And the comment section, I think people got riled up because I said the headscarf empowers me. And I mean, to be completely honest, I knew I was going to face some sort of
So you were expecting
comments.
it?
Yeah, I was kind of looking forward to it though as well at the same time. I knew those comments were going to come of people saying, I'm oppressed, why do I wear the headscarf, why am I forced to wear it? All those sorts of comments were made, essentially. Now, I totally understand that for a lot of people that, have seen for years and years how the media has portrayed Muslim women as being oppressed. I do think it's a media tactic that they've done for years, and obviously anything we say now, it just doesn't make them believe us, doesn't make them understand our religion. But I was actually ready for the comment section to get a bit crazy.
Although some comments were probably people genuinely asking. I remember one person did ask, so why do you wear a headscarf, something like that, right? So some people who obviously genuinely wanted to know, but obviously there were lots of people that also had commenting negative. Also, there were a few people that were actually defending you and saying,
Exactly.
it's not your place to judge or ask someone why they wear a headscarf. Like you said, when you made the comment that the headscarf empowered you. That one of the persons responded by saying, it would be the same thing as someone wearing a Batman suit or something like that, right?
Power suit.
Or sorry, or a power suit or something like that, or they would wear, or someone, if they choose to not wear much clothes and they go, that's empowering them. Why does that? How is that any different to what the lifestyle choice or the choice of clothing you chose, and why is that all of a sudden oppressive? Where if you're choosing to cover yourself, how is that seen as oppressive, whereas, taking everything off seems more empowering?
Yeah, exactly. So that's the other thing. So my thing was, I was expecting, and I'll be honest, there's loads of comments that have been super lovely and super supportive, and people going why is it you guys, she's one comment literally just said, she's an adult, why can't she make the choice to wear the headscarf regardless of religion and XYZ? Because in the actual article, I don't explain why I wear the headscarf. It had nothing to do with that part of
Yeah, but
it.
that's
It was just simply an article about sharing my hair care
yeah. So I was gonna say.
bits. Yeah.
So the article's not really about why you wear the headscarf. It's about
I think that
your
needs to be,
routine.
honestly, that is a whole question on its own. And I know loads of people in the comment section did ask why we wear it. And it's a very big question to ask. It's not easy to put into simple words. And I think, if I can, I will actually try and write a more thorough piece on the headscarf and why we wear it, and kind of get our point of view and our perspective and the Islamic perspective into, that area. Because at the moment, people have these notions and these ideas already about Muslim women who wear the headscarf. They're forced to wear it. A lot of the comments were saying it's forced on us by mankind, by men. It's something that the husband wants us to do. A lot of it was very misguided information that they had. And, I totally get why they might feel like that, because unfortunately the media has had that sort of portrayal of Muslim women wearing the headscarf.
Not just generally, I think people, because the way Islam is portrayed in
Exactly.
media as well,
So,
where it's maybe brutal or barbaric, people think, what, women are forced to do this, whereas they don't accept it. The fact that, for example, even if you had said, I wear it because even if you didn't give any, religious reasons, you just said, I wear it because I want to wear it. Some people will still question, why would you want to wear it?
Well, this is the thing. So so what I've done is I've responded to a lot of the questions, because I think it's important for me to now use my platform to then explain to them and help them understand our perspective on it. Because, it would be one thing if I left the comments the way they are and let them assume and make assumptions and judgment on us and our religion like that. So I've gone through the questions that were asked in the comment section, or the thought process that some people had, to kind of go, actually, you're wrong about this, or actually, this isn't how it is in Islam. One of the questions was like, it went very, a lot of them did go a bit far. So one of the questions one of the persons that responded said, oh, your husband's the only person who's seen your hair. What if he decides to lock you in a room? And then you're like, where do you get that sort of idea from? And then I explained in my comment section, the reality is that, my husband actually has nothing to do with my hair. My husband is not the reason why I wear the headscarf, number one. Let's just get that clear. It's, I've chosen to wear it. And, ideally, as my husband, he should support me in this decision. He should be encouraging me to wear it. That's the other thing. And I think what happens is that encouragement, or that idea of encouragement, has been taken that because my husband has said it, I've got no choice. I have to wear it. I am stuck. I am forced. And this has been commanded not by Allah, but by my husband, which is, of course,
that's what
not
people
the case.
think. That's what people think.
This is what people think. So this is what they're thinking. Their thinking is, my husband has given me no choice but to wear the headscarf, and I have to just accept it and, wear it. And
I don't know.
Now, of course, I understand. Part of me doesn't fault a lot of these people for the way they think, because honestly, it's just been years and years of media circulation on, oppressed women, and, Muslim men having very, jealous fits and rages, and they're just, super obsessed with, their wives having no control, no power. And obviously we know the reality. We know that that's not the case. Alhamdulillah, our religion has been very kind to both Muslim men and women. When we talk about the headscarf or modest wearing, there are rules that apply for both men and for women as well. And that has not been covered enough, unfortunately, in the media, in terms of the actual rules that apply to Muslim men. One thing that did happen from me writing this article, obviously, the comment section was, filled with loads of negative stuff. So I was able to talk to Ruth Davidson on Times Radio to kind of discuss, actually, what happened with my article and why there were so many negative comments on it. And it was actually really great, and I've got a little snippet of what was said in that 5-minute segment that I had with her. So have a listen here.
As somebody who's, I'm a haggard old 43-year-old now, I've never been much of a show pony. I've always called myself a bit more of a workhouse horse. I'm not that into fashion and beauty, but, there's some things that I like doing. Like in the summer, I like to paint my toenails and stuff because my feet look happy. I like doing stuff just for me. And we talk about women's empowerment of, a bit of self-care, a bit of self-love. And I mean, why should that be different for somebody who covers up because of other cultural reasons but wants to look nice for themselves and their friends and their partner or husband or whatever, and somebody that just wants to look nice for themselves in any other way?
Exactly. I think that's the main thing, though. I think people get so hung up on the religious side of things, but I've actually chosen to wear it. This is a decision I've made, and it's so interesting that obviously in the Western society, we're told we have the freedom to wear what we want, but it kind of stops at Muslim women choosing to wear the headscarf, choosing to wear the veil, choosing to cover up. So
yeah, you called it empowerment for yourself, like how you choose and where you choose to wear your headscarf. You called it empowerment in the piece, and that seems to be the bit that really got the under the line sort of fury monkeys going, wasn't it?
Yeah, completely. I mean, where does this empowerment come from? It comes from within me. I've chosen to wear it, and honestly, without wearing it, I do feel a bit lost, a bit not like myself. There was a comment that was talking about the power suit. Choosing the power suit is very empowering for some people. For me, why can't it be my headscarf that's so empowering?
Oh yeah, I love a trouser suit me. But I growing up, so I always have like quite pasty Scottish skin. There was plenty, if I looked at beauty magazines or I had my big sister's Cosmo or something like that, there was plenty for me that I could see. How important do you think it is for young black and brown women coming up now that they do see articles like this and they see cosmetic ranges that suits their skin tone, that they see themselves represented within the beauty industry in a way that they never have done before in a country like the UK?
I think it's very important, and I think that's one of the reasons why people have so many questions and they feel like, why is this article such a big deal now? Why has it been written? It's because we haven't seen enough of that already. We haven't given enough space in the media industry for readers, for journalists like myself to actually say, this is the products I'm using, this is why it's great. And, there was loads of nice comments as well in that section that were like, it's really nice to know that how you look after your hair, considering it gets covered most of the time. So I think it's just really important that we try and be more inclusive and try and make sure that we're actually covering stories from different backgrounds, from all backgrounds, and not just kind of tailoring it to one specific section. And
well, I hope you keep writing in this field. And before I let you go, I'm going to ask you if you can give me and our listeners some good hair tips.
Oh, okay. So obviously, one of the things that I mentioned in my piece was the fact that I actually oil my hair before I go to bed. I think that has been really, really helpful with making sure that I wake up when I have a shower. It keeps it silky and smooth, and it's just actually just keeping maintaining your hair is obviously for me it's very important. Even though a lot of people don't see it, but it's a personal thing. I've chosen to look after my hair just as anyone would.
Well, thank you very much. A top tip there on what to do before you shower to keep your hair nice. Thank you very much. That's Sharin Hussein, who I hope one day is going to be a beauty editor or whatever else she chooses to be.
Okay, so that was the clip that I was able to share with you guys on my little, session on Times Radio.
No, the conversation with her was actually quite positive. She was obviously very open-minded to, she didn't ask you. I know you didn't go in detail into why you wear the headscarf or not.
Well,
but the main thing that came out from it is, why is it that people think that it's not your choice?
Yeah, I know, and this is the thing. Listening to that conversation now, I think it would have been. It was a great way to kind of explain my perspective to a lot of the Times listeners and Times readers, and it was a perfect way to kind of argue the case of, even without my religion, if I've said and I've chosen to wear it, why can you not take that at face value? Why can you not just accept that as it is? Why does it have to be a thing of, oh, but why would you want to wear it? Well, I've said I want to, so what does it matter?
And I think a lot of times it's just because because I think some of the comments did say, you got freedom of choice, you can choose not to wear it or whatnot, right? I'm not saying those are the exact words, but people did kind of hint towards those things, and I think in that conversation that you had with Ruth, I think it was obviously kind of, you tried to explain the fact that whether if even if you take the religion out of the question,
Yeah,
the question,
I think
if you were to choose to wear this dress, why is it not?
Well,
why can't it just be expected? Not expected. Why can't it be accepted by people that you've chosen to wear it, and this is how you like to dress, and that is you also exercising your freedom of choice.
Well, this is exactly the thing, isn't it? We talk so much about Western culture, Western society, giving women the freedom, the power to do what they want, to be who they want, to wear what they want. We've done loads of marches and stuff like that. And yet somehow that stops at Muslim women choosing to wear the headscarf, choosing to wear the veil, choosing to wear modest wear. And it's crazy because, even now you look at the French hijab ban, and the reality is that why is it you guys are saying that we're oppressed in, Middle Eastern countries, and yet we have a law allowing, we have loads of different laws actually in different countries allowing the oppression of Muslim women with these hijab bans or these veil bans. France is just one example of that. And you're going to tell us that actually France and all of these European countries are actually giving women a lot of freedom? They're not really, because the reality is they've shunned us for wearing a certain piece of garment that is important to us. And whether it's about religious reasons or not, where is that freedom now? It's gone. You've taken it away from us. You've taken that choice away from us. And so one of the reasons why I'm concerned about these bans being put into place is that it's starting with Muslim women, but at some point, what if it, goes on to affect other women and other garments that we wear? And, it really is a concern, not just for Muslim women that this has been accepted and allowed, but it could be an issue for later on, for other women later on, if they start, implementing laws about dressing a certain way. Then what are we doing? Because, it's so interesting to see that we've been fighting for our rights, fighting for freedom to wear what we want.
I think one of the things that was quite important, and I was glad that you wrote the article, and I hope you can write more of these articles, not just about the care and all that, but also generally about Muslim women and our community or even men, because of the fact that I think it's important for other Muslim girls or women that may read that newspaper or not, to have to see someone that's similar to them, going through the same struggles or whatnot, to see them as a role model. So I think it was important that you wrote that, because
definitely. I did have a couple people message saying some comments. One comment actually was saying thank you so much for bringing this forward, because we don't hear this perspective, and then there was another comment just from someone who obviously doesn't wear the headscarf, but she was saying it's super fascinating to hear this perspective of what you use to take care of your hair, considering it is covered up. So you must be taking care of your hair really well, even though no one can see it. And I recommend 3 different products as well to help people know that this is what I'm using and this is why it's so great and how I use it. And obviously it's this was such an important piece to my heart. It was so dear to my heart, and I was very grateful to be able to have shared it, because one of the reasons, I think, because there's not enough of us Muslim representation in the media, it's hard to know what will be accepted and what won't. And I'm very grateful, that you know, they were really on board with this piece that I wrote, and they really loved it. And I think it's just nice to know that, you know, at the times I've got a place there that I can actually share stories like this and, you know, give our perspective. You know, inshallah, the plan is to, you know, share more like this and, you know, bring our voices to the forefront a little bit more and just actually explain things from our perspective. You know, it was very much a article that was supposed to be a bit more relaxed, but I totally understand that people just haven't heard that perspective yet, so they had a lot of questions and they had a lot of reasons to doubt what I was saying as well. Like, I think people were so hung up on the empowering part that I said about the headscarf. Now, for me, let me start from the beginning and say that I started wearing the headscarf more full-time when I was 14 years old. So, you know, again, I wasn't forced by my parents. I wasn't forced to wear it from a young age or anything like that, you know. It was a gradual
transition.
Transition and decision to actually wear it full-time. Now, growing up, my mum always did tell me I should wear it. And, you know, going to the mosque, I would wear it. You know, I just wouldn't wear it constantly and all the time. And one of the reasons why I actually didn't wear it a lot up until the point I was 14 is because, as much as I appreciated my mum telling me this, and, you know, it's her duty as a mother to make sure I do know that this is something really important in Islam and it's, you know, commanded by Allah for us to wear it, is the fact that I didn't want it to be me wearing it because my mum had told me. I wanted it to be me wearing it because I wanted to wear it for Allah. I wanted to wear it for my iman. You know, I didn't want it to just be a thing of, oh, my mum's saying to wear it, so let's just wear it. And that's not to say that I didn't wear it because my mum did say. Of course, there was loads of occasions where I would wear it because my mum was telling me to wear it.
But sometimes, actually, when you obviously we're grateful that your mum obviously didn't kind of pressure you to wear it, because sometimes when you pressure people, it actually backfires and they do the opposite, where they go, I'm rebelling and I'm not doing what you're telling me and I'm going to do the complete opposite and I'm not even going to wear it anymore at all. And so that's something quite important as well, actually.
No, but having said that, you know, the pressure of it, and I think a lot of people don't understand, and I even think even Muslim men don't understand how hard it is to wear the headscarf. You know, it is such a hard decision. It's one of probably the hardest things a Muslim woman does have to go through, that personal struggle with choosing to wear the headscarf full-time or part-time. You know, it is such a decision to make, you know. And this is what bothers me, actually, about people telling me that I don't have a choice, that, you know, I am oppressed. You know, because my thing is, I genuinely have chosen to wear it because I want to wear it. I want to please Allah. And for someone to say, no, you're only wearing it because of Muslim men, you're only wearing it because you're being forced, you're oppressed. And I'm just like, actually, you guys have no idea how hard it is to get into this and actually commit 100% to wearing it. Now, obviously for me, my mum was telling me to wear it, and obviously I understood to some extent why I was supposed to wear it, but it really didn't hit me at that point. And so I would wear it sometimes. And when I was 14, I finally decided, and I
did anyone ever say to you, you know, why did anyone ever question you why you were wearing it, or if you were wearing it at certain occasions? Did anyone say, why do you only wear it part-time or here and there, and why do you wear it other times? Did anyone say anything like that?
Well, before I get to that, actually, so once I decided to commit to wearing it a little bit more full-time, I was 14, and I actually had a lot of Muslim friends who did wear the headscarf, and obviously seeing them wear it and having that friendship group actually really helped me understand why I did want to wear the headscarf and chose to wear the headscarf for my own doing. Because yes, as much as, you know, my mum is saying it for the right reasons and, you know, giving me the reasons I should be wearing it, I didn't want to
advising you.
Yeah, I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to force that either. More so because I totally get my mum wanting to tell me to wear it and trying to explain it to me in a way I understand. But actually hearing it from fellow young girls' perspectives was very helpful and actually opened my eyes to where I should do it myself. I should be one part of that group, or not even part of that group, just I should want to do it because I want to wear it. And so when I was 14, I did start wearing it full time, in the sense that I was wearing it to school, and you know, most of the time that meant wearing it outside basically. And what I did find was, I think essentially more that first year of wearing it, was that I realised, depending on the group of people I was with, it affected whether or not I wore the headscarf. So if I was with my cousins who don't wear the headscarf, I felt like I shouldn't wear the headscarf, or I felt...
Did you feel pressured not to wear it?
It's not that I felt pressured, but to me, I felt like, okay, well, I'm with a group that aren't wearing it, maybe I shouldn't wear it. And it was vice versa, the same thing. I'm with a group that are wearing it, so maybe I should wear it. And I do think that had influenced the decision to sometimes not wear it. And
well, that's your personal journey, isn't it?
Yeah, and one actually person did say to me when I was wearing it, and mind you, I was wearing it loosely so you could still see my hair, which again I don't agree with. I fully cover my hair completely. I don't like showing my hair at all, and I don't like wear it half and half now. Like I fully cover it up, which again is a personal choice that people have made, and again it's really hard to, you know, wear it full time and X, Y, and Z. And one person that I was with, actually, and she's older than me by quite a lot. I think she's about 10 years older than me. And she doesn't wear the headscarf. And she looked at me and she said, what's the point of you even wearing the headscarf if you're not going to wear it full time? Why make that commitment to wear it sometimes and not all the time? And when she said that to me, it genuinely made me think. And I thought about that for a very long time. And actually,
that's a bad influence.
And I know, and I felt very guilty because her saying, why are you just wearing it part-time and not full-time? What's the point then? It made me go, oh my gosh, is she right? Should I be wearing it more full-time? Am I doing a disservice by not wearing it for more full-time? Should I just give it up? And I was going through all of those emotions of really questioning, is me wearing it part-time, is me wearing it sometimes worse than me not wearing it at all? And of course, that was bad advice or bad suggestions from her to question me like that. And unfortunately, that can sometimes happen in our own community, where, you know, we're made to feel like we're making the wrong choice or the wrong decision. Especially in this instance, you know, for her not to wear it, fair enough. You know, I wasn't going to pressure her to wear a headscarf. You know, again, it's a personal choice. But for her to then question what I was doing, actually really was not a good thing. And honestly, I personally think wearing it sometimes, wearing it occasionally is far, far greater than not wearing it at all. It makes, you know, inshallah, what you hope when you wear it sometimes or occasionally is that you build that courage, you build that empowerment to wear it more full time.
Well, one of the things you said, obviously, earlier was that, you know, men obviously, it's difficult for us to understand how difficult it is for you to wear hijab, or even other people, non-Muslims. It's difficult for you to understand, or for us to understand, you know, how difficult it is for you to wear, the scarf or the hijab. And I think when someone says that, or, you know, why, you know, if you wear it part-time, or if you only wear it sometimes and you don't wear it other times, what's the point? You take out the fact that it's a struggle for that person even to wear it part-time, let's say. And so it might have been extremely difficult for that person to, you know, make that decision, go, you know, I'll wear it on these occasions, and then they might not wear it in others. But that's their struggle. So if you say that, you're kind of discouraging person. It's like if I was to say, you know, I can't wake up to pray Fajr, or I can't pray Hijab, but I pray Dhuhr, Asr, and Maghrib. What's the point of me praying then? Should I just leave all 5 of them?
Exactly.
right?
And I
So
think
you wouldn't say that. You'd if you know, if you knew that was me, you'd hopefully someone would encourage me to go, you know what, it's good that you're praying the three. Now let's try and increase and do the, you know, Isha maybe, and then let's try and wake up for Fajr. You'd encourage someone to do better, not to go, what's the point?
Yeah,
Let's
just give
just
it up.
leave it.
Yeah,
Do you
just give
understand?
it up.
So you're when someone says something like that, especially to you or to young girls, it's a
Yeah,
bad influence,
it's
obviously.
really bad.
And the other thing is, you're kind of, like I said, you're taking away the fact that it might be it might be really difficult for that person to wear it. And you are right. I think for Muslim girls, and especially in our community as well, it's very difficult. There's a lot of pressure on our sisters, our mothers, our daughters, our wives to dress modestly and to, you know, wear the headscarf, because anytime you go out, like you're choosing to wear, you know, modestly, you're choosing to put the headscarf on, and you could easily go, you know what, I'm not going to do it. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a decision that you're making every single day, and it's difficult. And sometimes, especially in our community, sometimes people expect you to wear it, even though, you know, they don't know what your struggle is. Right?
Yeah.
They just go, no, we expect you to wear it. So there is a lot of pressure.
There's massive pressure. And you know what? Growing up, even my mum with the modest wearing, actually, I think for me, modest wearing was super easy to do, because I actually preferred modest wear in terms of, you know, wearing longer dresses, you know, covering up. I think, you know, other people would have struggles with that. Other Muslim young girls would have struggle with it. And I've found, actually, you know, in my family, I think from my dad's side, I'm one of the few that wears the headscarf. So obviously with my younger cousins, you know, I was hoping that, you know, they would be influenced to see that, oh, you know, my cousin sister's wearing the headscarf. Inshallah, I can get to a point where I'm wearing the headscarf as well. And alhamdulillah, you know, there's a couple of my young cousins that do wear the headscarf, you know. And again, it's a battle on its own, especially being like 12, 13 and upwards, to try and wear it full time. But I always say to them, and I always encourage them, wear it when you can. Wear it when you feel like it makes you feel happy, it makes you feel calm and at peace. Because the other thing is, yes, you might find it really hard to wear it all the time, but I don't think you should ever be, I don't think you should ever be discouraged from wearing it at all. Because, you know, I think the bigger thing is, you wearing it sometimes will inshallah make you feel more confident wearing it for longer. For, you know, let's say if you were wearing it twice a week, you know, hopefully you doing that twice a week, you start to feel more confident, more happy, and then you go, okay, maybe I do another day as well. And hopefully that builds up your courage, and it builds up your respect and your love for the hijab as well, you know. I think that is the other thing, you know. I totally understand that it's, you know, I have many times myself questioned whether or not I could wear it full time. And when that lady told me I shouldn't even, like, what's the point of me wearing it part time, it really made me go, oh my gosh, is she true? Is what she's saying right? Am I actually doing a disservice by not wearing it full time and wearing it only part time? And actually that was just not the right thing to be thinking, actually, because the reality is, the fact that I was wearing it sometimes made all the difference, and it's led me to the point of wearing it more full time. And now I don't, you know, take my headscarf off in front of...
You don't go out without wearing it.
Yeah, like another big thing that I also do is, now when it comes to wearing my outfits or choosing something to wear that's modest, my number one thought is my headscarf gonna look nice with this outfit, or is my headscarf gonna match the outfit or suit the outfit or look nice with this outfit? Like, for example, I wouldn't wear like a mini skirt if I'm wearing a headscarf. It just wouldn't go.
I would hope you would never wear a mini skirt.
No, but like, you know, my first thought is, I even explained it to some of my colleagues at work, is the fact that, you know, for me, my headscarf is the first thing I'm thinking about, and then my outfit, not the other way around. I don't choose my outfit and then match it to my headscarf. I want my headscarf to match my outfit. And I don't mean just by colour, I mean genuinely, does the modesty of my headscarf with like the dress I'm wearing, is it acceptable? Does it does it work in a way that is modest, acceptable in Islam, acceptable to me to be wearing outside? And I think those things all add up together. And yeah, so that, I think that's the one thing we need to try and do better as a community, is to encourage part-time wearing of the hijab, or even just modest dressing as well, you know. Again, it's so hard.
I'm sorry, just to cut you off, and not to make judgments.
Yeah, I think, okay.
I know it's difficult, but it's but if someone is wearing, like you said, if someone's wearing it part-time, that's their personal struggle. They may be really, for you, it might be really easy.
It's now
for
easy.
Others, and
Exactly.
for others, it might be really easy. But for a person who's starting to wear it, it might be really difficult. So try, passing a judgment or saying something that might actually turn them away from it completely is not acceptable. Support them, especially as a woman.
And encourage it.
Yeah, especially as a woman. If you've gone through that process and you know how difficult it is, and then if you see someone struggling with it, and someone makes a judgment, that's not right, because you've gone through that, you know how it feels. So I think supporting, encouraging people to do better and to try it out, or to do it more frequently if possible, and accept that it's a struggle that they're going through, and that hopefully, inshallah, they come out from it, like you said, where they are more comfortable and they understand what. This is another thing. Sometimes it takes a bit of maturing
Yeah, exactly. That's what happened with me. I just
sometimes-
needed a little bit more time to understand
exactly.
it better.
Sometimes,
to learn more about it.
Another thing is, sometimes kids to start really young, and then they sometimes take it off, and then they go back to wearing it. I mean, it's because sometimes it takes them to mature a little bit to understand why they're wearing it and why it's important for them to wear it. Not just the headscarf, also to dress in a certain appropriate way. Is not, all of these things. Sometimes it takes longer for somebody, and sometimes someone understands it straight away. Exactly, but again, that's a personal struggle. That's something that person is going through. So it always has to. I mean, for family, it always has to be, you're encouraging that person to do better, to try and wear the headscarf and to dress modestly, but not to go, I don't know, punish them or maybe say something that might turn them away from it completely, because that's the last thing you want to do as a Muslim person, as a Muslim woman, or as a Muslim man, is turn somebody away from it because you said something negative, or say you said something like that girl, like that lady said.
I could have chosen to go the other way.
Yeah, you could have went, you know what, she's right. Why am I going to wear it?
Yeah, I could have literally, and I was actually battling with that for a really long time, because I genuinely was thinking to myself, is what she's saying correct? Is that honestly what other people are seeing when they see me sometimes wear it and not sometimes wear it? I actually have a young cousin who I hadn't seen for like 8-9 years, and she is 12 at this point. So when she first saw me, and I think I'm one of the only sisters in our family that wears the headscarf. We now have like sister-in-laws that do wear it as well, but so when she saw me during a family like wedding session time, she was so excited to see me, and the fact that I was wearing a headscarf, because her own sisters don't wear the headscarf, and her mum doesn't wear the headscarf, not full time anyway. And so when she saw me and mine was like fully wrapped, she had so many questions for me. She was asking me when I started, and how I'm finding it, and I honestly was so happy to see she was so interested in it, and was actually really like asking me proper like questions, like how I began, did I find it hard, did you wear it often, do you sometimes wear it? And I encouraged her at that point. I said to her, listen, if you really want to wear it, start wearing it. Don't be scared to wear it, don't be afraid. I always encourage, even if you wear it, sometimes it's better than not wearing it, And actually during our wedding, she did wear the headscarf. She willingly was like to me, I'm going to wear the headscarf during a wedding time. I'm really excited. And I was like, and it was just so nice to know that in some little way I helped her just kind of understand that, she shouldn't be shy. And she lives in an area where there isn't a lot of Muslim girls that wear the headscarf. So that was the other reason why she was so cautious about wearing it. And I said to her, listen, people are going to judge you regardless. But honestly, be proud and be confident with wearing the headscarf. And, you know,
It's part
alhamdulillah,
of your identity now, isn't it?
yeah, and she alhamdulillah wears it now. And I always, like, just thinking about her and like all the questions she was asking me, it makes me so proud that, you know, that she's, you know, she was just asking on her own accord. You know, no one was forcing her, no one was, you know, even her mum and her sisters, they don't wear it full time, they don't wear it like that. So for her, she just needed to hear it from a different perspective. And because she hadn't seen me in such a long time as well, she was just absolutely fascinated by the headscarf. So yeah, it was just so lovely to talk to her about that stuff. So yeah, I definitely think it's worth encouraging, you know, young girls to wear the headscarf and also to dress modestly. You know, it is important. And I think, I don't know, personally, I've seen a lot of young girls dress modestly with their, you know, the sort of length of dress they're wearing, if they're wearing trousers, etc., or whatever. And but they're struggling with or they're finding it hard to commit to the headscarf full time. You know, again, it all comes together, but you know, the hardships of it, the reality of choosing and being able to do that, especially in a country that is very Western, and you know, most of the clothes that would be acceptable to us is actually quite hard to find in shops.
That's the other thing I was going to say, is that I think, because obviously we're speaking about modest dressing for women and girls mainly, there's a lot, it's a lot harder
to stay modest,
yes,
because of the fact that there's so many different aspects and so many different options out there in terms of dresses.
Exactly. I think we spoke about this before anyway, just between ourselves, that for the amount of choices for like girls to wear the dress is not modest, or the amount of choices, you know, it's huge. Like the dresses for girls, even young girls, it's like
so many different
sections
as
whereas
well.
for boys it's actually relatively quite easy.
But yeah, exactly. Like majority of boys just know to wear trousers and t-shirts.
I think all boys,
and that's acceptable.
For men as well. I think it's a lot more easier, because all you got to do is just, you know, put a trouser on, put a shirt on or a t-shirt on, and you're kind of done. Whereas for girls and for women, it's a lot more harder. And I think that's something, obviously, but that's a struggle. But inshallah, obviously, because your struggle is greater, you'll be rewarded greater as well.
Yeah, but actually, just briefly touching on the fact that, you know, when it comes to actually finding modest wear in like H&M and all of these high street brands, it's a lot harder than it sounds. You know, honestly, I've found it really hard to find certain clothings that, you know, even like a dress that I like, it's long, but then the back has like crisscross design on it, so then I can't really wear it because my back is going to be showing. And like just simple things like that, you know, it seems so easy to say, yeah, no, I'm sure you'll find the right sort of dresses to wear in high street brands, but actually it really isn't. And you get it, like a lot of the times I will have to make sure, if I buy something from these stores, I will come home, try it on properly, try it on with my headscarf, try it on with the right sort of, you know, trousers and whatnot, whatever it is that I'm trying, and just make sure it looks acceptable. And just make sure it looks acceptable. Now, there are a lot of up-and-coming modest fashion websites online, you know, but at times what can make it really difficult with choosing to go with these modest fashion websites and these brands is the fact that their pricings can be really, really expensive. And obviously, as much as, you know, you might want to support these brands, you know, you can probably buy 1 or 2 outfits, but like the reality is your budget could be something like £10. Yeah, your budget could be something like £10 for a dress. So for example, from H&M, from New Look, I know I'll be able to find a £10 dress. Now the question is being able to find the right sort of £10 dress that is acceptable in Islam and, you know, acceptable to wear with my headscarf. And so I do understand why some young girls actually choose not to, you know, go for modest wearing websites, because unfortunately it's only just something that's becoming more of a quote unquote trend. Unfortunately, it isn't a trend, but it's now becoming more of a an industry that's been looked at. And so now they're looking at it, they're realizing, oh, there's a market for Muslim women, let's, up the prices. Or and that's not to say that actually the reality is a lot of these brands that are doing it, they probably have high quality products, good quality materials and things like that as well. And obviously that's fair play. But like with high street fashion, obviously it's fast fashion, and a lot of the times it's just easier to mass produce, whereas with a lot of these smaller modest fashion brands, they're just starting out, so they're not mass producing a crazy amount. So yes, the prices can be much higher, but again, it's just a personal choice on whether or not you want to invest your money into these modest wear brands. Obviously definitely have a look out. I'm sure you'll find plenty on Instagram.
So I think we'll end it here for today. Just wanted to say that one of the main reasons why we stuck on the topic of hijab today was because of the article that you wrote and the interview you gave on the radio. And so I thought it was quite important for you to express, obviously, how you felt about wearing the hijab and what it means to you. And also kind of explore the idea of, obviously, you hopefully being role model, or, or writing about your experiences with hijab and everything else, and for your experience as a Muslim woman, so that others can benefit from it. But I think that's why we've stuck to the hijab topic for today, and inshallah in the future we can have an episode where we talk about what it means for men and women to dress modestly.
Yeah, we will definitely do an episode on that.
Okay.
Inshallah.
And so we'll end it here for today. Thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum.